There you have it, folks. Boston, Massachusetts Marathon 2013. 2 bombing explosions. 1 more 5 miles north, I think, at the JFK Library.
Yep, that's it. Boston, Massachusetts. This is going to be our next terrorist attack, it looks like. That's going to hit the United States in quite a long time. And, of course, it's too early to tell right now exactly who's responsible for it. But we want to, first of all, before we talk about this tragedy that happened today, we want to say that we're sorry for all the families. We're praying for the families. They're in our thoughts and prayers. And we just pray for quick recoveries. And we just ask God to go ahead and give peace and comfort to all the families involved and everything. And we pray that this will come to a quick resolution, and we'll find out who is
involved. Pray for justice.
Pray for justice, right? True justice, and find out who is responsible for this. And with that said, we're going to go ahead and give our thoughts pretty much on what we think happened and everything. We'll go ahead and minimize that here. There's a lot of theories going around as to what exactly happened. It's still too early to tell. The facts are still coming in right now, but we can almost pretty much guarantee this is not exactly what it seems like. It's probably going to be some type of a homegrown terrorist, probably something staged or made up by some parties, maybe the government, maybe somebody else. We know that the wrong people are going to wind up being blamed for it initially. We know that's going to happen. Already, I think CNN has said right-wing extremism. Chris Matthews, right-wing extremists are usually the kind of people that do these kind of things.
I heard some news reports, and they were saying, and Tom, who's filming, he's heard this too. They said that it might have been a gas pipe or something that exploded. They said it could have been. You know, we're just keeping an open mind. I'm like, why would a gas pipe to explode conveniently as soon as they were about to cross the finish line? It still makes sense.
Exactly. Then you have 2 explosions, not 1 but 2 explosions. 2. And one was about, what, 13 seconds?
13, 14 seconds.
About 13, 14 seconds after the first one. What we did see in some of the pictures coming out, we saw a suspicious figure. See if you can pull that up, Timothy. A suspicious figure in one of the nearby buildings close to where the second bomb had went off. And see if you can get a little closer up this time. It's right here. And go ahead.
It says right here, the person on the roof just seems out of place, and I will zoom in on it just a little. The more you zoom in, the more distorted the figure gets, but that's the figure.
Yeah, go ahead, right here. There you have it right there. There's a figure, a suspicious figure, right on that building. It says Starbucks Cafe. You can back up in that time. It says Starbucks Cafe on the bottom of that building. I'm not sure what the building is, but what I think is, what Timothy thinks also, a lot of people think that this was some type of a cell phone triggered bomb. So what's your thoughts on that, Tim?
Cell phone triggered bombs are relatively easy to make. If you can hook up a bomb to a cell phone.
And before you go into that, notice you're reading some of the stories that the authorities cut the cell phone towers off after the second blast.
Which in my opinion was the right thing to do, because they found 2 more bombs under the bleachers of the marathon where people were sitting, and if those bombs would have went off, God knows what kind of chaos.
And the reason those bombs probably didn't go off is because the cell phone towers were shut off.
The cell phone towers were shut off.
So that leads us to suspect that this suspicious figure may have been someone with a cell phone who might have been
he had to have. My opinion is, I think that this had to be prominently, if that's the right word to use, done with the cell phone, because when they cut the towers off, the cell phone towers off, boom, no more bombs went off, and they found 2 more bombs.
Right, and one at the JFK Library.
That one exploded also.
Right. Exactly, that did explode. Right. What you can see is in a lot of popular movies, and of course in other news stories, cell phone bombs have been the target or the bomb of choice of terrorists. And Timothy will pull up a video that we found that actually shows you how to make a detonating device from a cell phone. Now, please, of course, we don't ask anybody or condone anybody to do this.
Violence.
But it just shows you how easy. Now, Tom, come up here a little bit quicker, and we'll take a quick look at this little video.
I'll pull it up on here.
And phone detonator tips right here on YouTube. It's real interesting how a cell phone can be used.
Now I'm going to start at 18 seconds, I think. It says right here, we all have seen movies when someone uses a phone to blow something like the Hurt Locker was used.
Right.
And this movie right here, I'm going to show you right here.
The Hurt Locker and...
this one right here. It's called...
the Battle for Haditha.
Yes, these are 2 movies where they have used cell phones to blow things up.
Right, so just quickly show...
I will quickly show them. It's going to... Let's see. It says, here's how. You take one old mobile phone, and then you take... the mobile phone apart, and then what you do is you access the vibrator.
Just let it play while you're talking.
And then I'm going to fast forward it because we don't have time to go through all this. But then you get to the spins. That's the vibrator that spins when you're receiving a call or a text. It says you simply cut a hole next to the vibrator, and then you wire it up, and then you attach your phone to the wires, AA batteries to a base. and then you get using zip ties and all that. You position the 2 wires to the vibrator, and then you get a very low amp wire or anything like that.
So as you can see, this is a very low-tech way to set a bomb off. Now go to the film real quick, and you'll see they used in this film right here, the Battle for Editha. They used a propane tank.
Here it is right here. I'm going to get a zoom in on it. That's the propane tank. There's the bomb. There's the circuit board that's set up to wire the cell phone up to it. And
right. And once again, a very low-tech way to set a bomb
off. It's a very easy way. There are better ways to do this, detonators, blah, all that. But this is how, if you're in a third world country and you have no resources to set off your own bomb, this is the way you can do it in a relatively cheap and easy way to do it.
All right, now go back here. Yeah, so that pretty much shows you that that's a low-tech way to do it, which leads us to believe that, like somebody was saying earlier, a specific person wasn't targeted, a specific building wasn't targeted, like a whole group of people was like in a general area that got affected by this.
Like I said, my thoughts on that are, if the government, if the terrorists really wanted to do it, and if the terrorists really committed this, they would have wanted to get something really high up, like high profile, like when the terrorist bombings attacked the World Trade Center. That was 2 very high level buildings. It was like chaos, and the Pentagon also supposedly terrorists attacked that. Like I said, terrorists, they want to get a high level thing. They don't want to bomb random people. What's their purpose of that? That's not achieving any goal for them.
Right. Also, this bomb seemed to be a low-tech bomb. It did destroy a lot of things. It did injure a lot of people and killed several people, probably more than that. But even though it was a very destructive bomb, it really wasn't something you would see out of the Middle East, like a highly, highly destructive bomb. Not even like Tim McVeigh, who had the nitrous oxide or whatever in the U-Haul truck or whatever, and the fertilizer, the nitrates in the fertilizer, which blew up 7 stories of the federal building in Oklahoma.
An IED, improvised explosive device. Improvised. What does improvised mean?
Right, that means taking something out of simple, ordinary objects and putting it together and doing something with it.
Now, if they really wanted to, they could have used Simtex and molded it over a propane tank, C4, whatever they wanted to do, and that would have took out a whole block easily.
Right.
But there was relatively. I know it was a big explosion. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't that big. Right. It could have killed a lot more
Some people said it was probably planted in a garbage can. Another thing of note. Let's go ahead and talk about the other story right here about the bomb sniffing dogs. I think that the authorities knew something was going on right before this bomb blast happened, because there were some video clips from Fox affiliate in Boston of a coach being interviewed, and we're going to play that in a second here if we have it queued up. A coach being interviewed right here. He said he saw the cops right before the blast with a bunch of bomb-sniffing dogs. Now, they probably knew something was up, but they didn't want to alert or alarm the general public.
I think they were warned in the area that there was a person with a bomb who set it off. And like my dad said, they didn't want to alert anybody because they didn't want to panic. Make a panic. Just like we believe they're UFOs, but they don't want to tell us because they don't want to panic.
Exactly.
Panic. It's all about, you don't want to create fear. You don't want to create chaos.
Exactly.
And if everyone knew there was a bomb, then people would be
probably
chaotic.
More people might have got killed and injured.
That's what I'm saying.
Stampedes. Let's go ahead and play this coach right here. This video has actually been taken off the internet, so this guy went ahead and what did he do? He ripped it or something, and he put it on his Facebook page. But just check this out real quick.
Like my dad said, quick though. Like I said, a stampede of people. I think more people would have been killed if there would have been chaos, because more crowds have been rushing out, and boom. When you got a big crowd of people like that, you don't know where the bomb's at.
So here's the clip from the coach.
And they were running in the marathon. Several we talked with were not far from the explosions when they happened today.
Yeah, Local 15's John Zanitas is live in our newsroom right now. John, the University of Mobile cross-country coach actually saw the explosion happen.
That's right, Kim. He had just finished the marathon and was walking back to the finish line to meet up with his wife. That's when the explosion started going off. His wife had been sitting in the section where one of the explosions went off, but thankfully she had left her seat to come meet up with him. He says there was just this thick, blinding cloud of white smoke. They all started running. The coach told me, though, this is interesting, before the marathon he saw bomb-sniffing dogs and bomb spotters on the roofs at the starting line, and it appeared to him there was some sort of active threat before the explosions went off.
At the start line this morning, they had bomb spotters on the roofs of the building, and they had bomb-sniffing dogs coming up and down at the start line, and Melanie said there was bomb-sniffing dogs at the finish line, but they kept making announcements saying to the participants, do not worry, this is just a training exercise. Well, evidently I don't believe they were just having a training exercise. I think they must have known, they must have had some kind of threats or suspicions called in.
Boom, okay. All right, well, there you have it. So that's just a few of the things that we've come up with in the short hours after the attack and we were going to call it attack because that's exactly what it was. So as events and everything, and as more facts come available, we're going to try to put some more videos up.
There's one more thing that we didn't mention.
What's that?
And about the guy who was on the roof and all. And I wanted to just give like maybe a minute's worth of time to talk about that.
Okay.
Because what I believe is, and if you come over here,
this guy was also saying something about bomb stiffing people on the roof.
Spotting people.
Bomb spotters on the roof also. That could have been also the shadowy figure on the building too, possibly.
So look, zoom in on this one. There's the guy we showed you earlier, and that's the guy on the roof. And this is in the street.
Right.
You can see it. Person on the roof just seems out of place. Well, we did extensive research on this, and this right here explains, let me zoom out on it. It says, the runners approached from the west, the second explosion, that's the first explosion, which was right near the finish line.
All right, that's
about 3 p.m.
Boylston Street is where everything happened.
Boylston Street. And then there's the second explosion, which went off about 10 minutes later. Now look where this guy's at. He's on a high level of area where he can see everything. Now, I'm not saying that the phone or whatever has to be line of sight, because it's a cell phone. You can call from Louisiana if you want to all the way to Boston. But I believe that he was on top of somewhere, because if you get on top of somewhere, then you can easily see what's going on from that.
Once again, we're using, tell them what we're using here, ATC.
No, we're using Google Maps.
That's
we
Google
tried
Maps,
using
okay.
ATC, but that didn't work.
It's Google Maps.
So let me get up to it. Let me, right here, Boylston Street.
There's a steeple.
Oh wait, that's not it.
There's a steeple right
Okay,
here.
there it is. It's right here.
There we
Okay.
go.
You come over here. This is exactly where he was at, because we looked at it. We did research. He was right here.
Yep.
Right?
Yep, right there, right in the little corner right there.
He was right in the corner right there. Now, if you look right here, it's just Boylston Street. I'm going to pull in on my little person here and get onto my street. And wait for it to come up. There we go. Cool. Okay. So this is where this is where the second blast went off, was right around here. And as you can tell, like I said, the dude, he was on this roof right over here. He was right on this roof around here.
Yep, right over here.
Now, why would and they had some people, you can zoom out, they had some people in there, some people were saying, oh, well, you know, maybe people wanted to watch the race from a high, you know, spot. I don't believe that foolishness, because why would just one guy be on the roof, just one guy alone?
Right, exactly. So
I think
that's questions that people can answer for themselves, and we just bring up the facts that we see, right?
I think the guy was on top of the roof because he wanted to see whenever he exploded.
Right.
Because he can see from up there, but that's what all we have.
Well, the shadowy figure on the roof could have been, number one, it's probably an innocent spectator. Possibility he could have been a bomb, a dog,
bomb
spotter. Or three, he could have been somebody suspicious.
You gotta have an open mind.
We'll leave that. Have an open mind. Make your decisions for yourself. Check all the facts out and come to your own conclusions. And we'll see you next time.